We've just arrived at the old station on the outskirts of Rockhampton. This place is beautiful, rolling hills, lots of forest, lots of bird life around as well. This is 5th generation cattle station out here, and these guys really have their work cut out for them because it is a really big property. So aviation is pretty important out here. And Ron, the helicopter pilot, he loves anything aviation, anything that flies in the sky, this guy loves it. This is an incredible helicopter, and this has got quite a history, hasn't it? Yeah.
Its original history is the American Army, and it was built in 1968.
Right.
I assume it would have been used as an American Army trainer for training their pilots, probably go into the Hueys afterwards. Miles Tompkins rebuilt it for us, and then we just use it for around the property.
Ron, this is beautiful country out here, mate. How did you come to own and work this land?
I'm 5th generation. And I suppose it's been in the family now for nearly 150 years.
Wow.
So it's pretty special.
So how big is it?
26,000 acres.
How do you manage all of that? What are the challenges for you in managing this land?
Traditionally, it was always done with horses. We were one of the first ones in this part of Queensland to start using helicopters about 27 odd years ago.
Okay.
And a lot of people said to us, "Oh, you're crazy. You're going to send the cattle mad." They just couldn't get their head around using helicopters or aeroplanes. The first time we mustered, we ended up with an extra 100 head of old cattle that we just thought were just gone, never to be seen again. And all of a sudden we had all these big cattle in the yards, and back then they were that big and they were old. We actually got about $1,000 a head for them.
Oh, really? Yeah. So what was life like before helicopters out here then?
I remember as a kid, in the mustering days, there'd be at least 10 or 15 blokes who would go out on horses.
Right.
And one paddock we're in today, it would take 2 days. 2 days to muster it with horses. They muster one half the first day, they go back and muster the second half the next day. And now that same paddock, we can cover that same paddock in about 2 hours in a helicopter.
Wow.
So, and get a cleaner muster. You can see so much more.
Tell me what's going on in your mind. It's a busy job, it looks like it's a busy job, and then you're looking out for wires as well. How do you do it?
I suppose it's a natural instinct for me because I've been mustering cattle since I was a kid on horses. I've been doing it for a long time. And honestly, you can muster cattle with anything. You can muster it with a push bike if you're fast enough. So you just got to get yourself in the right position at the right time. That's all. It's all about timing and understanding the psychology of the cattle. And you can put too much pressure on them, you'll make them go too fast, or you could push them the wrong way, and knowing when to back off them.
But what are the biggest challenges mustering out here?
Well, the biggest thing in the mountains is you're looking out for the weather. The wind up there can be very unpredictable. Particularly you get turbulence around the mountains.
Yeah.
And heat of the day you get updrafts and downdrafts.
Okay.
And then in this lower country, particularly where their buildings are and other houses, you get power lines as well. You've got to watch out for wires. Wires are probably one of the biggest killers with helicopter pilots. You just don't see them until you're in them.
Right, right. Well, what about managing the strip out here? Any issues, or what are the biggest challenges?
It's a typical grass strip. Anyone coming into land here, the biggest challenge would be cattle. Particularly this time of the year, that the grass is very short and it's green, and the cattle really do like that. Another thing to watch out for is kangaroos. We do get a few roos on the strips as well. So if anyone's coming to land, just going to watch out for that sort of thing.
Okay. So if somebody's flying in, Ron, into the strip here, what should they do?
That no one needs permission, for starters, to come to our strip. We welcome all aviators, and just watch out for any cattle, or if they want to give me a call maybe beforehand, and I can make sure the strip's clear for them.
Okay.
And then after rain, because it is a grass strip, it could be a little bit soft.
You mentioned the hot air and what that does to flying out here. How bad does that get? And are there some days that you just go, you know what, I just can't get out there?
Some days it has been really hot and quite windy in the hills, and you just don't go out there. There's no point pushing the boundaries. You just got to draw the line, just don't do it, otherwise you will have an accident. Yeah.
The annual fly-ins, tell me about that.
We've been raising money for the Capricorn Rescue Helicopter Service. Mum, Leonie, she was one of the original board members. Every year we try and donate between $20,000 and $25,000 a year back to the cause. So it's a very worthy cause, and I believe this is the only air show on the east coast of Australia, and at the moment it's the only air show in Queensland.
Is that right? And that cause will be close to your heart too, because you've needed them a couple of times.
Absolutely, we've had a couple of calls. My brother Andrew had a serious horse accident. The rescue helicopter came to him, and one of our employees also had a horse accident and had a broken leg, and the helicopter got them out of the paddock as well.
Aviation saves the day, huh?
It does.